some reason I am having problems with this damn thing today. What is up? Let me turn this slime pack. Just out there listening to your videos a little earlier today, rolling down the road. I am up here in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. You know, they got the TA out here. I'm not at the TA. I'm across the street at the Sheets. So, Rod, what's up? Frank, what's up? I'm going to call. We got Romaine, a.k.a. Aesop's Fables, checking in. AD Gaming. I look like I am a dad, a granddad too, so shoot. There's Def at Max Meadows. That's great. Hey, a couple videos ago I was talking about fill up on Def because sometimes you don't know when you're going to be able to get it next. Well, I'm in that position right now. The last time Def was not frozen, I filled it all the way up. I'm at 3/8 of a tank right now, so I'm I went and bought a box of Def just in case. Tomorrow morning is supposed to be a little bit warmer. I'm gonna have a chance to chill out here for about 24 hours before I gotta head out. But I'm gonna run across the street to the TA, see if their Def is frozen. If not, I'll throw this box in, and I might end up getting another box to throw in as well. That's kind of an emergency stash I got earlier. But man, it has been cold. I'm sure most of you guys have been kind of in this cold weather, but I'm telling you, it's been killing me. I started off this morning with a half a tank of Def. Couldn't get it yesterday. I didn't even try at the one today. That shit just looked frozen. So I bought the box, and then we'll try it tomorrow. I could chance it and get down to Virginia, because that's going to be my third stop. But, what's up, Tyree, Ben? So anyway, I'm going to do a video about these cameras and, this Netrodyne camera, this Geotab, and this Copilot navigation, but Tyree, -15 in someplace in North Dakota. Last time, the coldest place I ever been was in, I'm thinking it was North Dakota. I keep wanting to think it was South Dakota, but I think it was North Dakota, and that shit was -38 degrees. Like, that had to be like 2019. Slime packs in Florida. All right, so anyway, let's talk about these cameras. So I'm gonna tell you, I've been, first of all, I've already expressed my feelings about the camera, but I really wasn't thinking about it, all that kind of stuff. But the other day I'm driving, so I've had 2 alerts for the same thing, or 2 actual, like, whatever they call those things, where the camera pops up, there's a video taken. One, I was sitting with my arm on my armrest, and I was just twisting my arm around like this. It flagged me twice for that. And what really pisses me off about it is, that's just shit that I normally do when I'm driving. You know what I'm saying? Either with, whatever. If it would flag me for some shit, like even if it flagged me for speeding, or it flagged me for not stopping completely at a stop sign or something like that, I could understand it. But at this point, that pissed me off so bad when it happened that I almost put in my home time request immediate. Like, as soon as that happened, I was about to get where I'm getting and put in the home time thing. It really pissed me off for the rest of the day, is really what it did. So as far as the cameras go, Stuff like that really is pissing me off. Um, Exit. So that's my feelings about the camera, okay? I'm not going to say it's really invasive or anything like that. Again, putting a camera in somebody's truck and acting like they did, like all of a sudden they're doing something. Those of you guys just came in, that's like me locking my kid in their bedroom until they're 18 years old and then bragging about how good of a parent I am. So those are my thoughts on that. If that continue, like, it's kind of stopped me from doing that just because I don't want to go off, but at some point I'm just gonna be like, you know what, I'm just gonna be rolling, and I'm not gonna be like filling, sending in comments every time it goes on. So that's my thoughts on that camera. As far as the Geotab goes, what's up, Anna, Ben, BRB Trucking? As far as the Geotab goes, I'm neutral on that. Other than the fact that it shut down the other day, we don't know if that's going to be a continuing issue with this thing or not. One thing I have noticed is I'm one of them people that will ride a clock out until there's like, a minute, 2 minutes sometimes maybe on the clock. And for it to switch to that screen, for you to put yourself off duty or whatever the situation is, sometimes it takes a little bit too long for that to pop up. Another thing I don't like about it is if you're doing two continuous things in a break, like let's say you're fueling, I don't remember. Sometimes I can't tell how long I've been on like a particular break. I don't remember how that is. But as far as Geotab goes, I'm neutral on that. I don't really care either way. I mean, editing your logs is a little bit easier, but one thing about editing your logs is, unless I'm missing something, is I cannot change my comment. So what I might start doing is if I do something, I may not put in my comment till later down the road on that. I tried hitting that X, it didn't, but I'll, like I said, that X is by driving or whatever it is. As far as this co-pilot goes, I'm in Pennsylvania. Like I already spoke about, this navigation will have you wandering the earth like Kane from Kung Fu, getting in adventures and taking you through every scenic route available. So it's done that to me. Today or tomorrow I'm delivering at the Walmart in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. This thing is trying to take me down a road I know is not a good road for trucks, whether it's curvy and grades and stuff like that. I know that because I know a driver that made that mistake one time. So the route that I think is preferable, I forget how many miles longer it is. It's probably 18 miles longer. I'm on 80. It was trying to have me get off like 8 miles back, either on 54 or 52. I don't really remember. And now it's trying to have me, so I'm at this Sheets, which is right off of Pennsylvania 42. It's wanting me to, and Tim or Terry, I know we spoke about this earlier. I don't know if that's that cutoff that you were talking about that cuts off the edge. Trust me, the route I'm taking is I'm going to go a little bit further out. I'm going to take 80 to 81. Then I'm going to cut back down and go that route. Fortunately, I've been on some of these routes plenty of times, so I know when the fuckery is about to begin. But if you guys think back a while ago, there was this prime truck that was stuck in North Carolina and it was about to fall over on a house. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a co-pilot situation that put that truck in that situation. I don't know, but I wouldn't put it past it, because every little off-brand road it sees it's trying to put you on. Now I'm going to try to get into these settings tomorrow and see if there's something I can do there. But it did some other stupid stuff, like the first time I was bobtailing home. I was coming through Kansas City. It had me get off on like Kansas 10 or whatever it is. I don't remember. But normally you would just take that highway straight. It's going to put you on 70 and go that route. Nope, not this one. This one had me get off in some town, ride all the way through the town, then get on 70. It just doesn't, it makes no sense. So anyway, I never thought I would talk about like Navigo. I mean, I never thought I'd say anything good about Navigo, but the way this thing's going, I would take Navigo back in a heartbeat. I mean, it might shut down or whatever every now and then, but I just can't trust this Copilot. I'm having to, like, and here's the thing, they're going to blame it on you. Well, we used to do this when we didn't have Atlas, or, before there was GPS, there was atlases. You know what? I don't see your ass at your desk handwriting shit on paper either. So, always going to be able to find a way to, anyway, that's my thoughts on that. So, anyway, let me get to these comments real quick. Slime Pack is in Florida. Definitely would make it. Man, there's some snow down south. I don't know if I'd want to run down there too quick. Terry Tim Travels. I sometimes have to untarp the sawdust trailers, but the last two had so much ice and sleet that you couldn't get it to roll. I hear that. I ignore every alert, and Geotab sucks as much as Copilot. Yeah, I don't. And this Copilot will shut down every now and then. Actually, it's done it to me twice, so it's not the same process. It doesn't take like 9.5 hours to fire back up like the Navigo would, but it does shut down. So BRB Trucking does not like Copilot either. Frozen tarps. I don't have to worry about no frozen tarps. It's the worst time of the year to be going down the side of the road and back roads. Absolutely. Like now that I'm in like Pennsylvania and I'll be like going through Maryland, I'm on high alert on any little off-brand highways unless I've been down them before. And most of those I've been down, I shouldn't have been going down, or I wouldn't go down if I had to do over again. Myth Leather Company had Copilot at Coke. What a piece of shit. I turned it on once and used my own GPS after that. I will. So I got like 3 GPSs I'm rocking. I got the built-in Peterbilt one. I mainly use that for trip planning because it basically will give you like the atlas shot of the route that you're on, so I can kind of look at it right there. I got my little Garmin, and then I got the Copilot. Now the Copilot, that thing right there, that ain't getting you to no shipper receiver. It'll get you to the right area, but you're on your own. So I'm gonna start like actually going in and to Google Maps and pinning like the truck entrances. I mean, yesterday I was picking up in Schuyler, Nebraska. It said I was there and I wasn't even close to being there. And I know that why, because I've been there several times. I could just see me being flustered as a new driver. I mean, I guarantee you I absolutely guarantee you there's going to be truck drivers driving into what do they call those? Driving in where the livestock entrance at some of these places. I can already see it now if it hasn't already happened. So, all right, I hear your frustration, Terry, about getting up and getting your tarp and ice off that. Gotta hope the sun warms up. I'm just waiting for the sun to warm up so I can get some def in my truck. I'm already pissed off about wasting this money on this box of def I have sitting back here. Terry, I have to have some spidey sense when it comes to any GPS. Yeah, but I haven't had to worry about it like this. Like, I'm going to say this as a phrase. I don't want anybody to be... I've only done this one time, but I'm using the phrase. When I'm driving with this Copilot, I'm more nervous than I would be smoking weed at my mama's house. That's how I feel about this stuff when it starts, get off here. All right, Tyree, I seen the towing company video of that, and she said she was following 3 GPSs, and all said that was the way to go. Yeah, I could maybe, at some point, you just got to stop. Like, you've already done enough damage. Driving further is just making things worse. So at some point, you just gotta stop. Ram McNally takes you on some sketchy roads. That's why I usually run 3 GPSs, because one of them usually has a sensible route. I've learned, well, I don't know yet, because this is my first time in Pennsylvania with this Copilot. I've always learned to trust my Garmin, because my Garmin will not just automatically shoot me down these. It'll take me a longer route. And I think I talked to Tim Travels about this last year. I forget where I was driving from somewhere in New York, coming down to Pennsylvania, and I wanted to get to this certain truck stop, but my clock wasn't going to allow me to do it, taking the route that my Garmin was going to take it, but possibly if I took the route that the Qualcomm or Omnitrax was going to take me on. So I said, you know what, fuck it. I know I'm not going to make it on this other one, so let me just follow that. Man, it was like sleeting out, and it was kind of like a wintry mix, as they call it. And like 3 of those hills had like 25-mile-an-hour truck things, and every curve that's in Pennsylvania was on that route. And I was like actually mad when I was driving. It wasn't like I was like, oh, this is a bad route or anything like that. I was like actually mad about it. So that's when I learned. Like, I really learned, okay, if that thing is talking all major highways, that's the way to go. I used Copilot once. I didn't get stuck, but knew not to use it again. Yeah, Terry's got smarts real good. Ben Birch took me to an 11.9 bridge. I sent it, but no stacks, so I cleared it when I went through. I was talking to somebody that, tell me this, anybody that lives in New York, how come there's bridges in New York that trucks can go under, but they say 12.7 or 12.9 or something like that? And what's the reason for that? I don't know, because I knew that before I went out there, but I've heard of drivers like stopping before that, which is probably a good idea. But why do they have those signs like that? 12.7, 12.9, whatever it is. Alright. Tyree took them on Route 26 in Idaho. The Omnitrax used to do some crazy shit in Washington. Again, I was too stupid. I was like, oh, it's summertime and I'm empty. Let me take this route. And I think the route that my GPS was going to take me was down like, I forget what highway, but it was adding about 30 miles to it. But I was so dumb, and I got on this other little off-brand highway, and that thing was like probably curvier than this stuff out here, and steep. I mean, I was empty, but that was a horrible route too. So I just learned, if that thing says stay on a major highway, I'm staying on a major highway. Toby Ghost Hunt headed to Florida now. I had a good time in Florida when I was down there. Got a bunch of detention. Was out of some cold weather. Pittsburgh. I was talking to somebody the other day about Pittsburgh. I think it was 412. I don't know if he's in here right now or not, but I've only delivered in Pittsburgh once. I've driven through Pittsburgh in the winter twice, and that curve out there is no joke. And when there's questionable traction out there. But I delivered a load somewhere in Pennsylvania, and there was like overage, and I had to deliver it to some like place like right there's like a bunch of lofts down there, and it's like a receiver right by these lofts or whatever. So my student at the time was driving, and the thing was like, make a left. I was like, no, we ain't clearing that left. Keep going, keep going. So we had to go down like 3 more lefts to clear that. Tyree's talking about them curves and all that stuff. You're not the only one that had issues with Idaho. There's a driver with Prime. She comes in here every now and then. Little Debbie Nixon, and she did that in the winter time, and I think she got stuck, and she called. There was a tow truck that came out, and the tow truck guy said, I don't know why Prime keeps sending you guys down here. Trucker path. Yeah, I'd like to have a bigger GPS, but I will start using that. Especially if I'm out here, if nothing else but to test it out. Uh, 212 in Montana. I think that's that route that I like to cut off that corner between those 2 highways. I'm not one to be hanging out in Montana in the wintertime. I've done it, but I almost feel like I've paid my dues now. Not that I'm there's just a certain amount of stress I'm just not willing to put myself through, and just certain things I'm just not going to do. Like I said, I'll do it for my fleet manager, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do it. All right. Trucking Life, my Filipino wife, I just listened to your last video earlier today. We need people putting out more videos, man. Well, before I start my journey, and whenever it is, I try to put in a whole playlist of all these people to listen to, and I just ran out like 38 minutes before I got to this truck stop. All right, Terry needs some Eastern European ELDs. Yeah, I don't need that. Montana got me good. It was clear. Headed to Washington, but as soon as I started headed back, I started paying for it. All right. Let me try to speed through these real quick. That's another thing I don't like. Northeast. I hate the Northeast in general, just driving out there. But yeah, that whole thing where exit 24, old exit 67, and you just can't see a truck. You just can't like drive and see, oh, there's a truck stop there, let me pull over, there. No, there's too many damn trees to get to a truck stop. You gotta, get off the highway and go wandering all over the earth in some of these places. Those are just 2 reasons I don't like the Northeast. Ben Birch, I am leaving Bloomsburg, headed to Walmart in Pottsville tomorrow night at, I think, 8 p.m. And then I got another delivery at Wegmans in Pottsville at 11 p.m. And then I got another delivery in somewhere in Virginia the next day. Wegmans out there as well. Ashland, Virginia. Ben picks up in Pittsburgh 2 or 3 times a week. If I did it every day, that'd be one thing, but looks like Myth Leather Company's on fire right now. Don't have to worry about truck stops in Washington. There aren't any. They got some nice little truck stops out in Washington uh, that I'll stop at. But yeah, they don't have enough to make it comfortable for me to like driving out there. All right. Let's see. But I don't really go that, most of my shit in Washington isn't, a lot of that stuff is right off the highways and stuff like that. So every now and then, if you're going to pick up apples or, something crazy like that, you got to get off into the mix. But I really don't, like when I go to Washington, I don't necessarily think about the parking, or the lack of parking. What's up, Steve? I'm just out here chilling. Amex L. My favorite region is just like, man, really, if I could just drive in circles at the terminal. No, I'm just joking. I would say anything from Denver to like maybe Ohio would be like my favorite. I don't mind dabbling in Pennsylvania and all this, or upstate New York and, Virginia and down. I don't really like the Northeast. I don't really like the Northwest. Florida 75 North is closed between Florida and Atlanta. Make note of that. I just talked to my brother today, and he said schools and everything are closed down in Houston, Texas. Man, my brother be looking old now. I'm just telling you. Let me see if I can find a picture of him, boy. Man, I won't be able to blow this picture. Well, my brother, like, seriously looking like Famous Amos. And he's like 9 months younger than me. When I show you this picture, man, I almost don't want to do him like this. So, yeah. My God. The one that looks like he was a runaway slave. Well, obviously. But, God damn. Whew. All right, Romaine. I don't know nothing about no fun women. Ohio has the free showers. I've never done that at them travel plazas. Listen, I hate rest areas so much. I even include travel plazas in that. So if you see me at a travel plaza, there's usually a reason. 5 is closed due to, hold on, definitely. Yeah, Ben, usually I don't get that damn funky. I got funky the other day. I did a video. I said, man, I was so funky, I was embarrassed to walk into the truck stop. Now, that's bad. When you're walking into the truck stop and you're like, yeah, I gotta stay away from people. But, yeah, man, I was talking to my brother. Woo! I was like, man, you gotta shave that beard and shave that hair down, boy, because I don't know if that makes him be more of an authority figure since he's a teacher or what, but I was almost about to call Slime Pack earlier this morning when my when my videos came, or when all my videos it ran through, because I was watching one of her videos and she has legitimate like fans out there. Like she might be signing autographs or some shit pretty soon. But Slime Pack, you're a better person than me. When they were asking you to go out of your way to go check on some trailer, like my first question when you did that, when you drove to that place just to check and make sure the trailer was fine, is you're telling me of all the loads that Tyson, or whatever it is, Tyson, and of all the drivers Prime has, we don't have a driver sitting there right now that can't go drive into, or go take a look at that trailer. But anyway, hey, I came on here real quick. I am kind of wore out a little bit. I did get to, I did park at Gary, Indiana Loves last night, and got me some of that naff. That's always good. One thing I'm gonna say about, because I was out. Hey, Jasmine, I'm not even bullshitting. I was listening to your videos today, and I was like, you know what? I really don't enjoy a lot of videos where it takes a lot of attention. I just like listening to the shit and stuff like that. But I was like, of all the channels in your genre, so let's say you're gonna say like Roadrunner Nia and Alex the trucking guy, all them. A lot of those people, it's a lot of fucking fluff. There's not a lot of actual educational type stuff in there for drivers, like getting your tandems set right, or fueling up philosophies, all this kind of stuff. A lot of it's just like, I'm just driving here, and then so I'm impressed with that, not only because I'm impressed with anybody that's doing that quality of editing and taking the time to do all that kind of stuff, but to throw in the education aspect of it, that's like more important than anything. So I was just thinking about that earlier today. There's a lot. Actually, there's a lot of good channels out there that, like that one. I just think is above the rest of those kind of channels. Romaine, there is nobody on earth that could tell a story like Romaine. Now, I know he makes up about half of that shit, but still, nobody has stories like Romaine. Terry, my boy Tim Travels. I've always been kind of a history person myself. Not that I know a lot of it, but I'll watch a documentary on anything. And yeah, I've heard that about Alex, but I'm just saying that's a visual. But listening to some of that history and stuff like that, especially when you're driving through shit like this, so you're driving through like these certain areas. Yeah, there's where Tim was talking about, and there's a battle. There's probably some important general who I drove right over where he got killed at, or some shit like that. So definitely like that. I would say the people that just I don't even have to pay no attention to, like that just talk, that's kind of my gig right there. But Romaine, you come up with any other stories yet? Romaine, you're thinking about that shit, writing it down. What if I said this? No, I'm joking. All right, so Alex, the trucking guy, you know, I never will forgive this guy. Listen, to me, that guy was an airhead. Okay? I did try to, like, stomach that shit one time, and just his speech pattern and all that stuff, I couldn't do it. And like I said, he's kind of an airhead. At least that's what I got out of it. There is the one guy, though, that I didn't mind, the trucking with Dave. But then again, you had to pay too much attention to that stuff. So, but Alex, the trucking guy, when he did that video, when he took out like 2 full gallons of piss, and there's trash cans right near the grass. This motherfucker takes 2 full gallons of piss, and instead of pouring it in the grass and then maybe, you know, throwing the empty containers in the trash or whatever, he just sets 2 huge containers of piss down right by the trash can. So somebody else has to go deal with his stuff. So I haven't been able to forgive him after that one. And the only reason I watched that, I think it was a short or something like that popped up, because I can't take him. That voice has just killed me. Let's see. Tyree's interested in what people can do in a major city if they have a 34. I'm definitely not the right channel for that. My thing is, I have to stay dialed in. Now I can like take a day off or, you know, whatever, like, but I can't relax too much, because if I was to get out and start relaxing, it would be so hard for me to come back to the truck. And like, even when I leave home, if I'm leaving home on a Sunday morning or whatever, I got to be to the truck Saturday. I got to get my head right. And for me to leave the truck and go do stuff like that, it would just, this is some good light, that car over there, that would just take me out of the mix to where I wouldn't even want to drive. Children born feet first, briefly, where their mother is a hat, but no one is ready to talk about. Okay. He had no shame about his piss collection. Like I said, I've only watched, I don't think I've watched, I think I watched one when he went to GP Transco, just because that was kind of what was going on. I just wanted to see what he'd say. And then I saw that short video that popped up when I was scrolling through shorts or whatever. Yeah, his voice, man, that shit, woo. Well, thank you, Steven. I like to consider myself a people person. The most I did as far as getting out of the truck, I had if you guys remember, a trainee that I had, Land Shark Transportation, Eric. We got out to Mankato, Minnesota, about a day and a half early for a delivery at that Walmart, and we walked from that Casey's or whatever it was. There's a Mexican restaurant next door. That was about it, to be honest with you. Once I'm in, once I like strap in, I'm in. I can't do it. I can't. Like, I feel jealous about some people when they're like taking pictures of all the shit they're doing or doing all that kind of stuff. I can't do it. Cash is King Trucking. Man, I was just watching your video earlier today about the the one with the excavator that wasn't strapped down all the way, and then the ELD shit so they can look at your logs when you're driving by. That shit is crazy. And I was thinking about you the other day when you were talking about lease purchases, and I was like, man, should I just give I was going to email you like the whole thing about these prime leases, but I was like, man, I don't have a reason to defend. Now, I'm not talking about the regular leases. I'm talking about the lease purchases. But anyway, I was just thinking about that the other day. 412, what's up? When you called me back the other day, I was on my phone with somebody that is coming to Prime. I was trying to get him on my fleet manager's fleet. Rusty man, what load did you get out of Colorado? Please don't tell me it was no beer load out of Golden, Colorado. As a matter of fact, did I call you 412 today? Maybe I didn't. DeAndre Berry, what's up? I'm just out here at the Sheets in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Those of you guys just came in, I preached last week. It's going to be cold. Get DEF as often as you can. Stay full. I filled up on DEF the last time I had a chance where the pumps weren't frozen. And everywhere I've been stopping, the DEF is like frozen. And I'm down to 3/8 of a tank. So I went and bought a box of DEF just as a backup. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to go across the street and see if theirs is working at that TA across the street. But I hate buying a box of DEF. And just after I got done preaching about it, but I had no choice. I couldn't find it anywhere. The Suave Trucker was here last live when you were waiting to go to attend orientation. Passed my CDL, waiting for my trainer to get back Friday to start tanker TNT phase in Springfield. Congratulations on all that. I think tanker, I don't know if I'd want to do tanker. If I lived in certain areas, I do know that tanker, I know somebody that does tanker that seems like they're always home or able to run through the house. Gonzo, he's one of the defectors over there to Walmart. What's going on? If that's the same Gonzo. Hoping I can get down to Fontana tonight. Man, I'm not sure I want to go to California with them fires going on. DeAndre's in Commerce City. I was coming through Iowa yesterday. No DEF and the diesel tanks gelled up. I'm getting my water separated. I've been like over treating my fuel. I've been over treating my fuel, so haven't had that issue. But if you're in Commerce City, man, anybody stopping in Denver, if you really want to stock up or go get something to eat or whatever, if you ever have driven, and if you ever seen that Bass Pro Shop out there, there's a Target, there's that Texas Steakhouse, there's a comedy club, there's all this kind of stuff. And you'll see trucks lined up along that row. It's near that TA and all that, maybe across from the Sapp Brothers. Stop there. You can get your grocery shopping in. You can go get, if you want to get a good meal, you can go do that. Go get some comedy, whatever. I would not ever, ever, ever stop at that Flying J out in Colorado, out just east of Denver, and I really wouldn't stop at that TA either. All right. Tanker's difficult right now, I can imagine. My fuel mileage has been a little low as well. Wait, what did you say about the fuel? I'm getting my fuel water separator filter and fuel tanks changed now. Okay. Was told it's good. Yeah, it is good for your area. That's where the guy lives that I was talking about. He lives in, if you leave Springfield what is that, 13 or 7 that cuts across the 49? He lives on one of those cities along that route. Pilots in Missouri are horrible. How do you live in a cold state and don't prep your DEF tanks? The one place I went to when it was like minus 15 degrees when I was in Montana one year, it might have been South Dakota, but I was in a similar situation. I was stopping at all these truck stops to see if I could get some DEF. This fuel stop had a hair dryer, like an actual hair dryer, that was stuck down in the DEF tank that was like on. So obviously the stuff underground that's it's gonna freeze at a narrow point. They just had a regular old hair dryer in there on that was keeping it heated. So yeah, I don't know what. I gotta think of something to do next time I take my truck. Maybe not this time I go home, but maybe the next time I go home. Because I'm not doing that whole 75,000 mile oil change. You know, we might be talking 35 or 40, and then I'll probably maybe get the fuel filters done when I go in there. Beer loads out of Golden. I've never done one, but beer loads, man, it's just like too much shit that doesn't make sense. And they don't pay, like, if they paid for what they make you go through, that's one thing. But they don't even pay good, and they make you go through all this stuff, and then they act like, you know, they're doing you a favor by taking it. Really, most people at Prime take a beer load just because there ain't nothing else in the area. Like, we used to be up in Baldwin, New York. Really wasn't much up there. You take it out of there, or maybe you get a beer load that pays for the deadhead going to, like, Nebraska or something like that. But nobody goes out of their way and says, that beer load is what I want. You know, I know somebody that does the Northwest, and she said as long as you're in the bubble out there, you're fine. As long as you're not going in and out. All right, it's been very mild in Washington. All right, DeAndre is clear, but you get that one isolated snow cloud, and that's a blizzard. Yep. Gonzo used to pull a lot of beer loads out of Golden, and it's a lot of bullshit getting in and out of there. And if it's going to snow in Denver, it's usually going to snow right out there too, because it's right in the foothills. Now, here's how old school I am, and some of you other people, Rusty, knows older than me. Those of us that are like over 50-something years old, when I was in elementary school, our class took a field trip to Coors Beer. Now, we didn't get to drink no beer, nothing like that, but could you imagine that shit now? Could you imagine a school saying, we're going to, and this is like elementary school, we're going to take our elementary school kids to a beer plant. Yeah, I miss the old school days. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to one of my boys, Don, on here earlier today, and you know, he's my age. We were talking about stuff, you know, candy, cigarettes that used to, you know, people used to sell back in the days. Was one thing we brought up. All right, but anyway, I'm about to get off here. I need to take advantage of this relaxation I'm about to get. Plus, I'm at a Sheetz. Run in there and grab some vittles. Hey, Myth Leather Company, before I leave, here's the dumb thing about these beer loads. Why do you even have to scale in? Like, I think, do you have to scale in with the tray? Do you have to scale in empty with the trailer, then bobtail back around to get an empty weight to pick up a trailer that's already loaded? why even, what's the purpose? Like, I could see if they were going to load your trailer, or they were going to load a trailer that was specific to what's going on your weights, but these are preloaded trailers. So what? I don't get it. Bubblegum cigars. Yeah, that Fort Collins have the same. Why am I scaling as a bobtail? I can't stand a beer load. Oh my god. I think the last one I got was a couple years ago, Baldwin, New York. I don't think we do them anymore. Or I don't think we do Budweiser anymore. Alright, anyway, I'm about to get off here so I can come back here and get this relaxation. I need to run in here and at least wash my hands. And try to find a free movie on YouTube to kind of watch as I fall asleep tonight. That's always... Oh, old school people. Somewhere on YouTube you'll be able to find All the Right Moves. Back when Tom... I thought about that today because I was driving through Pennsylvania. Not quite where he was... where that movie was at, but All the Right Moves, Tom Cruise, when he was playing football in Pennsylvania and he was trying to get out of the town. You had Sean Penn's brother that was in that movie. You had the guy that played Coach in that TV show. Coach was in that movie. That's a good movie. Young Bucks, check that movie out. And yeah, I might watch that one. A few nights ago I watched Blood In, Blood Out again. I might be white on the outside, but I'm brown on the inside, SA. Anyway, let me get off of here. I appreciate you guys stopping by. It's always fun. Hopefully I'll be able to get in some warmer weather soon. I'm out.